let's get started. The sales process. Guys, this is going to be insanely important. Okay, make sure you guys study this. Make sure you review this. I want you guys watching this multiple times, and I want you guys to have this video down like the back of your hand. Because, guys, we're about to dive into the sales process. Okay, now the sales process, and this is going to be for virtual setting, of course. For virtual setting, is going to be I'm just going to go through the whole thing, and then I'm going to break down each one of the different processes, okay? So step number one is we have your intro. You got to introduce. Who are you? Who are you with? And why in the F are you calling them? The next step is the problem. This is where you dive into their actual problem, get them to understand that they have a problem, get them to feel the pain of the electric company. And this is probably one of the most important parts of the entire set. A lot of people really they skip this step. And it's a very, very, very important step, because how are you supposed to convince someone of a solution if they don't really see they have a problem? And it's the same with any sales process. I don't care if you're selling solar, effing windows, if you're selling freaking roofs, whatever it is you're selling, they got to understand there is a problem with their current situation. And then when you come up with a solution, they're going to be so much more inclined to actually move forward and consider the solution, versus if they don't understand they actually have a problem, right? You can have a homeowner that pays $1,000 a month for their electric bill, but if they don't see that paying $1,000 a month as an electric bill is an actual problem, then they're not going to go solar. They're not. Versus you can have someone that pays $100 electric bill that's like, oh my gosh, $100, that is so much money. But it's because you're able to help them realize that they actually have a problem. So don't skip the step. Make sure you build the pain, right? You got to do it by building emotion. There was a study done, I think it was rats, that basically what they did is they took out the part of the brain that feels emotion, right? They were literally incapable of making decisions because they didn't have emotion. Emotion is what guides us to make decisions. The way that you sell is you sell with emotion, you base it off of logic. That's how you sell. And if you're not able to actually help them feel the emotion of, hey, you have a problem, then you're not going to effectively be able to set, and you're not going to do this job effectively. So make sure that you really, really, really focus on the problem, which we're going to do videos on each one of these subjects on how to effectively do all of those things. Now, solution. Now, this is how you bring up solar. A lot of times, depending on the homeowner, I like to bring it up in a very nonchalant way. So instead of just saying, yeah, this is solar, so be a little more, you'll see. I'm going to dive into it. But either way, the next step is the solution. After that, we have the pullback. This is where you say, hey, because after you've shown them the solution, you're giving them all this value, you're telling them how great it is. You need to take it away from them and say, hey, yeah, I got to qualify for this, right? So this is your problem. Help you feel the pain. Here's the solution. I'm going to fix your problem, all right? And then pull back. I can fix your problem, maybe. and then you say, I don't know if you're going to qualify for this. I don't know if it's going to make sense or not. That's why we have to hop on this next call so we can even see if I can help you and see if I can solve this problem that I've shown you that you have such, this huge problem that you have that I've just shown you and I've revealed you have all these issues and all these problems with your current, electric companies. I can solve that, maybe. So pullback is very important. After that, close. Make sure that you are closing. You are not asking people to do anything. You are a closer. I don't care if you're a friggin' setter, you're still a closer because you're closing on an appointment. Okay? That's what you are as a salesperson. You're a friggin' closer. Always. Even if you're a setter, you're still a closer because you're closing on the appointment. So make sure that you do that, which we're going to do a video also talking about that. Last one, tie down. Tying down is solidifying the appointment and making sure that they are going to show up after the appointment. You can spend 30 minutes talking about the freaking problem and the solution, but if you're not tying down that appointment and making sure that they show when I call that prospect, you just wasted your freaking time. They're not going to show. I mean, you could follow up with them and get them back on the calendar, but let's just get them to show the first time. So make sure that you tie down, and we're going to dive into each one of these different, parts of the pitch and really break it down so you guys fully understand This is how I have a good intro. This is how I explain the problem. This is how I explain the solution. This is how I pull back. This is how I close. This is how I tie down. Got it? Great. All right.